Mindfulness in Plain English. Chapter 1. Meditation. Why bother? Meditation is not easy. It takes time and it takes energy. It also takes grit, determination, and discipline. It requires a host of personal qualities which we normally regard as unpleasant and which we like to avoid whenever possible. We can sum it all up in the American word gumption. Meditations take gumption. It's certainly a great deal easier just to kick back and watch television. So why bother? Why waste all that time and energy when you could be out enjoying yourself? Why bother? Simple. Because you are human, and just because of the simple fact that you are human, you find yourself here to an inherent unsatisfactoriness in life which simply will not go away. You can suppress it all your awareness for a time. You can distract yourself for hours on end, but it always comes back. Usually when you least expect it, all of a sudden, seemingly out of the blue, you sit up, take stock, and realize your actual situation in life. There you are, and you suddenly realize that you are spending your whole life just barely getting by. You keep up a good front, you manage to make ends meet somehow and look okay from the outside. But those periods of desperation, those times when you feel everything coming in on you, you keep those to yourself. You are a mess, and you know it, but you hide it beautifully. Meanwhile, way down under all that, you just know there has got to be some other way to live, some better way to look at the world, some way to touch life more fully. You click into it by chance now and then. You get a good job, you fall in love, you win the game, and for a while things are different. Life takes on a richness and clarity that make all the bad times and humdrum fade away. The whole texture of your experience changes, and you say to yourself, okay, now I made it, now I'll be happy. But then that fades too, like smoke in the wind. You are left with just a memory. That and the vague awareness that something is wrong. But there is really another whole range of depth and sensitivity available in life. Somehow you are just not seeing it. You wind up feeling cut off. You feel insulated from the sweetness of experience by some sort of sensory curtain. You are not really touching life. You are not making it again. And then even that vague awareness fades away, and you are back to the same old reality. The world looks like the usual full place, which is boring at best. It's an emotion roller coaster, and you spend a lot of your time down on the bottom of the rung, yearning for the height. So what is wrong with you? You are a freak? No, you are just human, and you suffering from the same malady that infects every human being. It is a monster inside all of us, and it has many arms: chronic tension, lack of genuine compassion for others, including the people closest to you, feelings being locked up, and emotional deadness. Many arms. None of us is entirely free from it. We may deny it. We try to suppress it. We build a whole culture around hiding from it, pretending it is not there, and distracting ourselves from it with goals and projects and status. But it never goes away. It's a constant undercurrent in every thought and every perception. A little wordless voice at the back of the head that keeps saying, not good enough yet, got to have more, got to make it better, got to be better. It's a monster that manifests everywhere in subtle forms. Go to a party, listen to a louder and brittle tongue voice that say fun on the surface and fear underneath. Feel the tension, feel the pressure. Nobody really relaxes. They are faking it. Go to a ball game, watch the fan in the stand, watch the irrational fits of anger, watch the uncontrolled frustration bubbling forth from people that masquerade under the guise of enthusiasm or team spirit, booing cats calls and unbridled egotism in the name of the team loyalty, drunkenness, fights in the stands. These are the people trying desperately to release tension from within. These are not people who are at peace with themselves. Watch the news on TV, listen to the lyrics in popular songs. You find the same them repeated over and over in variation: jealousy, suffering, discontent, and stress. Life seems to be a perpetual struggle, some enormous effort against staggering odds. And what is our solution to all the dissatisfaction? We get stuck in the if only syndrome. If only I had more money, then I would be happy. If only I can find somebody who really loves me. If only I can lose 25 pounds. If only I had a color TV, jacuzzi, and curly hair, and on forever. So where does all this junk come from? And more important, what can we do about it? It comes from the condition of our own minds. It's a deep, subtle, and pervasive set of mental habits, a guardian knot which we have built up bit by bit, and we can unravel just that same way, one piece at a time. We can tune up our awareness, drag up each separate piece, and bring it out into the light. We can make the unconsciousness conscious slowly, one piece at a time. The essence of our experience is change. Change is incessant. Moment by moment, life flows by and it's never the same. Perpetual alteration is the essence of the perpetual universe. A thought springs up in your head and half a second later it's gone. In comes another one, and that is gone too. A sound strikes your ear and then silence. Open your eyes and the world pours in, blinks and it's gone. People come into your lives and they leave again. Friends go, relatives die. Your fortunes go up and they go down. Sometimes you win and just as often you lose. It's incessant. Change, change, change. Not two moments ever the same. There's not a thing wrong with this. It's the nature of the universe. But human culture has taught us some odd responses to this endless flowing. We recognize experiences, we try to stick each perception, every mental change in this endless flow into one of three mental pigeonholes. It's good or it's bad or it's neutral. Then according to which box we stick in, we perceive with a set of fixed habitual mental responses. If a particular perception has been labeled good, then we try to freeze time right there. We grab onto that perpetual thought and fondle it. We hold it. We try to keep it from escaping. When that does not work, we go all out in an effort to repeat the experience which caused that thought. Let us call this mental habit grasping. Over on the other side of the mind lies the box labeled bad. When we perceive something bad, we try to push it away. We try to deny it, reject it, get rid of it any way we can. We fight against our own experience. We run from pieces of ourselves. Let us call this mental habit rejecting. Between these two reactions lies the neutral box. Here we place the experiences which are neither good nor bad. They are tepid, neutral, uninteresting, and boring. We pack experience away in the neutral box so that we can ignore it and thus return our attention to where the action is, namely our endless round of desire and aversion. This category of experience gets robbed of its fair share of our attention. Let us call this mental habit ignoring. The direct result of all this lunacy is a perpetual treadmill race to nowhere, endlessly pounding after pressure, endlessly fleeing from pain, endlessly ignoring 90% of our experience, then wondering why life tastes so flat. In the final analysis, it's a system that does not work. No matter how hard you pursue pleasure and success, there are times when you fail. No matter how fast you flee, there are times when pain catches up with you. And in between those times, life is so boring you could scream. Our minds are full of opinions and criticisms. We have built walls all around ourselves and we are trapped with a prison of our own lies and dislike. We suffer. Suffering is a big word in Buddhist thought. It's a key term that it should be thoroughly understood. The Pali word is dukkha, and it does not just mean the agony of the body. It means that deep, subtle sense of unsatisfactoriness, which is a part of every mind movement, and which results directly from the mental treadmill. The essence of life is suffering, said the Buddha. At first glance, this seems exceedingly morbid and pessimistic. It even seems untrue. After all, there are plenty of times when we are happy. And there? No, they are not. It just seems that way. Take a moment when you feel really fulfilled and examine it closely. Down under the joy, you will find that subtle, all-pervasive undercurrent of tension that no matter how great this moment is, it's going to end. No matter how hard you just gain, you are either going to lose some of it or spend the rest of your day guarding what you have got and screaming how to get more. And in the end, you are going to die. In the end, you lose everything. It's all transitory. Sounds pretty bleak, doesn't it? Luckily, it's not. Not at all. It's only sound bleak when you view it from the level of ordinary mental perspective, the very level at which treadmill mechanism operates. Down under that level lies another whole perspective, a completely different way to look at the universe. It's a level of functioning where the mind does not try to freeze time, where we do not grasp onto our experience as it flows by, where we do not try to block things out and ignore them. It's a level of experience beyond good and bad, beyond pleasure and pain. It's a lovely way to perceive the world, and it's a learnable skill. It's not easy, but it's learnable. Happiness and peace, those are really the prime issue in human existence. That is what all of us are seeking. This often is a bit hard to see because we cover up those basic goals with prayers of surface objective. We want food, we want money, we want sex, possessions, and respect. We even say to ourselves that the idea of happiness is too abstract. Look, I'm practical, just give me enough money and I will buy all the happiness I need. Unfortunately, this is an attitude that does not work. Examine each of these goals and you will find they are superficial. You want food. Why? Because I am hungry. So you are hungry. So what? Well, if I eat, I won't be hungry and then I feel good. Feel good. Now there's the real item. What we really seek is not the surface goal. They are just means to an end. What we are really after is that feeling of relief that comes when the drive is satisfied, relief, relaxation, and an end to the tension, peace, happiness, no more yearning. So what is this happiness? For most of us, the perfect happiness would mean getting everything we wanted, being in control of everything, paying scissors, making the whole world dance a jig according to our every rim. Once again, it does not work that way. Take a look at the people in history who have actually held this ultimate power. These were not happy people. Most accessors, they were not men at peace with themselves. Why? Because they were driven to control the world totally and absolutely, and they could not. They wanted to control all men, and there remain men who refused to be controlled. They could not control the stars, they still got sick, they still had to die. You can't ever get everything you want, it's impossible. Luckily, there's another option. You can learn to control your mind, so to step outside of this endless cycle of desire and aversion. You can learn to not want what you want, to recognize desires but not be controlled by them. This does not mean that you lie down on the road and invite everybody to walk all over you. It means that you continue to live a very normal looking life, but live from a whole new viewpoint. You do the thing that a person must do, but you are free from that obsessive, compulsive drivenness of your own desires. You want something, but you don't need to chase after it. You fear something, but you don't need to stand there quaking in your boots. This sort of mental culture is very difficult. It takes years, but trying to control everything is impossible, and the difficult is preferable to the impossible. Wait a minute though. Peace and happiness isn't what civilization is all about. We build skyscrapers and freeways. We have paid vacation TV sets. We provide free hospitals and sick leaves, social security and welfare benefits. All of that is aimed at providing some measure of peace and happiness. Yet the rate of mental illness climbs steadily, and the crime rate rises faster. The streets are crawling with delinquents and unstable individuals. Stick your arms outside the safety of your own door, and somebody is very likely to steal your watch. Something is not working. A happy man does not steal. A man at peace with himself does not feel driven to kill. We like to think that our society is exploiting every area of human knowledge in order to achieve peace and happiness. We are just beginning to realize that we have overdeveloped the material aspect of existence at the expense of the deeper emotional and spiritual aspect, and we are paying the price for the error. It's one thing to talk about degeneration of moral and spiritual fiber in America today, and another thing to do something about it. The place to start is within ourselves. Look carefully inside, truly and objectively, and each of us will see moments when I am a punk and I am the crazy. We will learn to see those moments, to see them clearly, cleanly, and without condemnation, and we will be on our own way up and out of being so. You can't make radical changes in the pattern of your life until you begin to see yourself exactly as you are now. As soon as you do that, changes flow naturally. You don't have to force or struggle or obey rules dictated to you by some authority. You just change it automatically. But arriving at that initial insight is quite a task. You got to see who you are and how you are without illusion, judgment, or resistance of any kind. You got to see your own place in society and your function as a social being. You got to see your duty and obligation to your fellow human beings, and above all, your responsibility to yourself as an individual living with other individuals. And you got to see all of that clearly and as a unit, a single gestalt of interrelationship. It sounds complex, but it often occurs in a single instant. Mental culture through meditation is without rival in helping you achieve this sort of understanding and serene happiness. The Dhammapada is an ancient Buddhist text which anticipates thought by thousands of years. It says, what you are now is the result of what you were. What you will be tomorrow will be the result of what you are now. The consequences of an evil mind will follow you like the cart follow the ox that pulls it. The consequences of a purified mind will follow you like your own shadow. No one can do more for you than your own purified mind. No parent, no relative, no friend, no one. A well-disciplined mind brings happiness. Meditation is intended to purify the mind. It cleanses the thought process of what can be called psychic irritants. Things like greed, hatred, and jealousy, things that keep you snailed up in emotion bondage. It brings the mind to a state of tranquility and awareness and a state of concentration and insight. In our society, we are great believers in education. We believe that knowledge makes a culture person civilized. Civilization, however, polishes the person superficially. Subject our noble and sophisticated gentlemen to the stresses of war or economic collapse, and see what happens. It's one thing to obey the law because you know the penalties and fear the consequences. It's something else entirely to obey the law because you have cleansed yourself from the greed that would make you steal and the hatred that make you kill. Throw a stone in a stream. The running water would smooth the surface, but the inner part remains unchanged. Take that same stone and place it in the intense fire of the forge, and the whole stone changes inside and outside. It all melts. Civilization changes man on the outside. Meditation softens him within through and through. Meditation is called the great teacher. It's the cleansing, purifiable fire that works slowly through understanding. The greater your understanding, the more flexible and tolerant you can be. The greater your understanding, the more compassionate you can be. You become like a perfect parent or an ideal teacher. You are ready to forgive and forget. You feel love towards others because you understand them. You understand others because you have understood yourself. You have looked deeply inside and seen self-illusion and your own human feelings. You have seen your own humanity and learned to forgive and to love. When you have learned compassion for yourself, compassion for others is automatic. An accomplished meditator has achieved a profound understanding of life, and he inevitably relates to the world with a deep and uncritical love. Meditation is a lot like cultivating a new land. To make a field out of a forest, first you have to clear the trees and pull out the stems. Then you till the soil and you fertilize it. Then you sow your seed and you harvest the crops. To cultivate your mind, first you have to clear out the various irritants that are in the way. Pull them right out by the roots so that they won't grow back. Then you fertilize. You pump energy and discipline into the mental soil. Then you sow the seed and you harvest your crops of faith, morality, mindfulness, and wisdom. Faith and morality, by the way, have a special meaning in this context. Buddhism does not advocate faith in the sense of believing something because it's written in a book or attributed to a prophet or taught to you by some authority figure. The meaning here is closer to confidence. It's knowing that something is true because you have seen it work, because you have observed that a very thing within yourself. In the same way, morality is not a ritualistic obedience to some exterior, imposed code of behavior. It's rather a healthy habit pattern which you have consciously and voluntarily chosen to impose upon yourself because you recognize its superiority and your present behavior. The purpose of meditation is personal transformation. The you that goes in one side of the meditation experience is not the same you that comes out the other side. It changes your character by a process of sensitization, by making you deeply aware of your own thoughts, words, and deeds. Your arrogance evaporates and your antagonism dries up. Your mind becomes still and calm, and your life smooths out. Does meditation properly performed prepare you to meet the ups and downs of existence? It reduces your tension, your fear, and your worry. Restlessness recedes and passion moderates. Things begin to fall into place and your life becomes a bliss instead of a struggle. All of this happens through understanding. Meditation sharpens your concentration and your thinking power. Then, piece by piece, your own subconscious motives and mechanics become clear to you. Your intuition sharpens, the precision of your thought increase, and gradually you come to a direct knowledge of things as they really are, without prejudice and without illusion. So, is this reason enough to bother? Scarcely. These are just promises on paper. There's only one way you will ever know of if meditation is worth the effort. Learn to do it right and do it. See for yourself.